Hello, Niece. How are you doing? All is good, Niece. Thank you for sending me that email. That video in response to the that Instagram video you sent me. I should have it ready either later on tonight or tomorrow. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. All righty. So let's see who we got in the building. We got Niece. We got DeAndrea Sanders from New Mexico. Denitra Smith from California, now in Houston. Oh yeah, I remember talking to you, Denitra. Rebecca Redding says stay on topic this time. Yeah, yeah. She says stay on topic this time. I definitely will. New Mexico. Wow, my goodness. A good friend of mine just moved. Was planning on moving to New Mexico in a few. Well, as soon as he finishes selling his house, he's going to be moving to New Mexico from California. Now in Houston. Denitra, you called in before, didn't you? If I'm not mistaken, I think we talked on the phone. Amy Sue, hello. Thank you for tuning in, Amy. Appreciate you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Glad everybody can hear. Let's see, I got 7:02 my time, so we're going to go ahead and get started. So, once again, as always, I just want to thank everyone for tuning in tonight. So many other things that you could be doing, but you decided to tune in to my YouTube live stream, and for that, I say thank you. My name is Okoye Amos, coming to you from Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Very rainy day in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. But we definitely needed it because it was beginning to get extremely hot down here in this part of the country. So thank you everybody for checking in. Janae checked in. Thank you so much. Uh, Rebecca Redding again. She told me to stay on topic. Make sure I do that. But depending upon how the show goes, sometimes somebody may call in and kind of talk about something else. I'll be the first to admit that I can get kind of get my mind can kind of drift a little bit and go to something different. She says, "Why is there 16 in the chat?" That's all we got. One like. Thank you, DeAndre. Thank you for bringing that up. Yeah, yeah. Can we get the likes up if possible? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. Again, anything that you want to discuss, anything that you want to talk about, you want to talk about uh, the book, or we can talk about relationships. We can talk about you want to call in, or you want to leave things in the chat. But we're going to pick up where we left off last time. I really didn't get into it the way I wanted to because, again, there was a couple of phone calls that kind of got me off topic. But I'm going to be talking about the married men situation again, in particular, married men. So many women have informed me about. It seems like there's an influx of married men that are approaching them, and one of the things that I always like to say about that is, of course, there's absolutely nothing new under the sun. I mean, when we talk about marriage, I mean, some men look at that as just an agreement that's written on paper. And especially when you start dealing with men my age, when you start dealing with men, 40s, 50s, 60s. I mean, sometimes, men our age, we just look at it like, man, please. Listen, all it is something that's on paper. But we're going to talk about that. We'll talk about some of the things. Maybe some of you ladies are wondering why you may be bombarded so much with married men, or why married men are even out there trying to be in the dating world in general, knowing that they have a significant other. So also you may want to talk about how to spot married men. So let's get into it. If you want to leave a comment, you can. But marriage. Let's talk about marriage. What is marriage? We all know marriage is a commitment between two people. That's also a legally bound contract, depending upon what state that you're in. And so, again, in today's world, where we have so much access to be able to meet people that we normally would not have the opportunity to meet. For example, I'm looking at people in this chat right now that are indicating that they're from California and New Mexico and Maryland and Memphis, Tennessee. I mean, without this, 9 times out of 10, we never would have met. But now, since we have this influx of different ways and methodologies in which we can meet people throughout social media or dating apps or whatnot, I mean, you just got married men out there. Well, not all, but you have some married men who are looking at this as just another way to explore options. Now, I got a lot of friends, male friends who are married. I have some female friends who are married as well, and they tell me some of the things that they may be experiencing in their marriage. So with my male friends, a lot of them, talk about the daily routine as far as things have kind of gotten to a point where you've been married so long, you almost know what your wife or the wife knows what is going to know what the husband is going to do just based upon familiarity. Sex. You got some marriages where absolutely no sex occurring. You got some marriages where people just look at it like, well, you got a high-profile job, I got a high-profile job. You're a member of a sorority, I'm a member of a fraternity. We're in the public's eye. We ain't getting divorced. We're not getting divorced. That ain't happening. No, we're not getting divorced. But you do your thing, I'll do mine. You make sure that whatever you do, don't do it in a disrespectful manner. And when I do my thing, I'm not going to do it in a disrespectful manner. And, we'll just make this thing work. But again, this thing right here, the cell phone and the access that so many men have to the cell phone and being able to dabble, these social media sites, these dating apps, people, for a lot of people, those things are addictive. For some people, those things are like crack cocaine. Whereas it becomes addictive. Why? Because there are some people out there, all they need is to get just a little bit of attention. Just a little bit of attention. What do I mean by that? The person may not be getting the attention at home. So if you're not getting that attention at home, guess what? Sometimes our human desires can lead us to do what? Seek attention from other places. And you got to understand, as men, married or single, we know that there are a lot of women out there who are in vulnerable positions. We know this. All right. We just don't know where they are. But I guarantee you, if men knew exactly where they are, they would concentrate more on those areas. That's why so many men, especially married men, do what? They play the numbers games. As I've been over that 1,000 times. And then, once I explain the numbers games, I don't think I'm saying anything new. That you ladies or men if you're over 25, 30, I mean, you understand how the numbers games go. People just go from one to the next, to the next, to the next, and they say, well, sooner or later. I know I'm married, but sooner or later, somebody is going to take me up on this offer. All right. Phone lines are open. Anybody want to call in? 225-397-6922, 225-397-6922. I don't know if Dallas is listening. We had a caller last week. She said she used the name Dallas. I think she called in from Memphis. I don't know if you're out there, but you definitely got some attention going on. A guy emailed me and said, make sure you tell Dallas that she needs her own podcast. So, Dallas, if you're listening, I think Dallas was from, Dallas, she said she was from Carolina, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Charlotte. So, Dallas, if you're listening, you got a fan club. All right, let me get to a few of these chats. Janae said also stay away from separated men and women still legally married in the eyes of God. Yes. Now, let me talk about that real quickly. See, a lot of men will use that as an excuse, especially as an excuse as to why the person that he is pursuing should deal with him. Because he'll say, well, listen, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't want to lie to you. I just want to be straight up and candid with you. I am married, but I'm going through a separation. Now, there are so many men who have told that story to women over the years, and guess what? Absolutely no separation was in the works. None whatsoever. So, ladies, you got to be careful of these things. And then someone else sent me an email asking, why are so many men going around acting single? Hey, all I can say is this thing right here, once again. It is just so wide open in this dating arena. Whereas, especially if you're dealing with a man who has a job such as a truck driver, or his job requires him to do a lot of traveling. Oh my goodness. I mean, you're just a few swipes or a few, contacts away. If I'm in Louisiana, I got to travel for Austin, Texas, for a meeting for the weekend. I'm a married man or whatnot. Things are not going as smoothly as I want at home. Or let's say things are going smoothly at the house, because a lot of times things are going good at the home. But sometimes men can be what? Greedy. Just greedy. No, damn well we got the best woman in the world at home. Oh, we know this. We know we got a good woman at home. We know this. We know we got a good woman who's not down for cheating. All she wants you to do is be the man, provide your manly duties. She's going to take care of her business, make sure you're taken care of, make sure the kids taken care of, make sure the house is, all those things. And, a lot of times we'll look at that and say, well, I know I got something good, but I'm going to Austin, Texas for the weekend, and nobody knows me in Austin. So I'll just pick this thing up. I'll go on Tinder. I'll go on Bumble, or I'll go on whatever. And I'll just see, what can happen. Or I'll hit the whatever, the clubs, or I'll hit the high-end restaurants and things of that nature. So for you women who seem to be bombarded by married men, again, you're dealing with some bold men out here. And you got a lot of men I'm not saying it's right, but some of them will tell you straight up, yeah, I'm married. And they'll just put the ball clean in your court. You say, I'm married. Now what? And then you got the type that'll say, I ain't married. Nope. And those type will just lie to you in your face. Why? Because they're looking for a sexual fling. And that's basically all it is. All right, finalize the divorce first. Yes, that should be the way it goes. But again, so many men will actually try and keep the relationship going with the new person, even though the divorce is in process. So as the old saying goes, it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. And once again, I'm a firm believer that if as a lady, if that's one of your deal breakers, that a man, even though he may be really, really, really going through a divorce, that's totally up to you how you're going to handle that. Because once again, you got some smooth talking men out there. You got some very attractive, handsome men out there, no doubt about it. And as I always say, guess what? We like what we like. And sometimes we can like what we like and we know that person is married. But that attraction is what? That attraction is so strong. So strong. We like, man, look, I know you're going home to somebody else. But just give me a piece of you. So, it goes on both sides. Because there are a lot of men out there who are looking for married women. A lot of players, a lot of F-boys, a lot of those types, the pickup artists are looking for married women. Why are they looking for married women? Because they're like, I'm going to get sex from you and I'm going to send you right back to your home because I ain't looking for no commitment. A lot of the F-boys and the A-hoes are looking for married women that's down with the program. Because they don't want a relationship with you. They want a sexual relationship with you. And once again, their mentality is, man, I wish I could find me a married lady who I could have a sexual relationship with, no commitment, and send you right back home to your husband. That's it. That's all you're going to get from me. So, again, nothing new under the sun, people. These type of games have been going on so long. Let's get to the chat. Sabrina says, I once dated a guy who said he was separated, pending divorce. He wanted to move in with me, but I told him he must be divorced first. I know he did. I know he did want to move in with you. Why do you think he wanted to move in with you? Because the wife had the house probably, and he probably was in a townhouse or a one-bedroom apartment, studio or whatnot. So yeah. He was definitely looking for a place and somewhere to lay his head. All right. Married men and women who date outside their marriage or something else. It takes a bold individual to embarrass yourself and others that way. Yes, it definitely does take a bold individual, but I mean, there are just some people out there that just do not care. They just don't care. And like I said, you got the dating sites, I can't think of the dating site that was pretty much designed for people who were married. What was that? On the Sex on the Side? If I'm not mistaken, was it called Sex on the Side? That dating site? So, any women out there, you find yourself being approached by married men, leave a comment in the chat. Sabrina said, I had one who wanted to help pay for the divorce. 12 years later, another had a wife who went back home, red flag. I got rid of him. He was crazy. Yep. So, when you're dealing with those, now, we haven't even talked about the men who will just flat out lie. The men who are married and will flat out lie. But as I always say, that the internet has changed so many things for men where men are just it's almost like men, we are at a buffet table, a buffet restaurant. And you know, the buffet restaurant has so many different entrees and dishes and desserts and things that you can choose from. And, you know, so many men are just trying to stuff their plate with so many different entrees. So many men are just trying to stuff themselves with so many women. And, you know, some of the young men I talk to, you know, I'm like, son, there's only 24 hours in a day. What are you trying? How in the world are you going to juggle 3, 4, 5, 6 different women within a 24-hour time period? Oh, Pops, I got it, Pops. I know how to do mine. And you can't tell them, you know. Any young man who's listening to me and you feel that you can actually do that, the best advice I can give you is you either commit to one of those ladies or eventually you're going to lose them all. That's the best advice I could give any young man. If you're out there, you think you can juggle all those different women, you better commit to one of them, because if you don't, eventually you're going to lose all of them. How do I know that? Wisdom, experience. And that's why I strongly feel, you know, we need to have these honest conversations, you know, especially the older folks, you know, men and women my age. I really think that we could help this young generations out tremendously, so much where we can maybe help prevent them from bumping their head and making, you know, foolish mistakes. But at the end of the day, you know, people are going to do what they want to do. You know, you tell somebody, hey, don't touch that stove is hot. What do they usually do? I'm going to touch that stove just to see how hot it is. But, again, you're dealing with married men. Ladies, you got to be careful of these things. You'll be surprised how many men out there who are looking just for sex on the side, and that's it. They are not going to leave their wife. That's the last thing they're going to do. Not going to break up their family. They will tell you if you bust them, if they're the type that'll lie to you, or they could be the bold type that'll tell you straight up front that they're married. But 9 times out of 10, they're not going anywhere. And they're just going to lie to you and lie to you and lie to you and tell you things that they think you want to hear just because they feel that you are interested in them. What's the best advice? If you find out, hey, you better cut it off. You better cut it off. All right, Janae had a question. What do you think about single until marriage? To me, I'm going to get to the second part of the question. If I were a lady, if I were a female, knowing what I know right now about male behavior, and male behavior has been off the chain for decades. There's nothing new under the sun. What I see these young guys doing, we were doing that in my day. Before I was born, my daddy was doing it back in their day. My daddy's daddy had 24 kids. I mean, you go back deep enough in time, you'll start finding out, you know, your grandfather, your great-grandfather, they may have had 25, 30 kids. They may have had 3 or 4 different outside families. I mean, people, absolutely nothing new. It's just in today's world, this thing here has just flipped. It has just flipped the dating world upside down. Where there was a time where men would actually court women. Now, I'm gonna make a few statements. Trust me, men will still court you. I promise you that. We will still court you. But with this thing here, this cell phone, this thing here has made it to whereas men can make contact with so many different women, so many different varieties of women. And you got a lot of women out there who are vulnerable. You got a lot of women out there who are single, not just single, but I mean single and lonely, single and vulnerable, single and wanting male attention, single and just want just love the comfort of being with a man, single, and cannot stand sleeping in a bed alone. Men, we know this. Oh, we know this. And a lot of men with those type of motives, they're like, okay, that's why so many men attempt to talk to so many different women, because one may not be interested, or one may be interested, but you're not that vulnerable type that just says, man, I got to have a man by me. I got to have a man on the side of this, in this king size bed, this queen size bed with me. I don't feel like a woman unless I have a man with me. See, you'll be surprised how many men are looking for that type. That's it. No, I want a single lady, but I want that single one that's basically desperate. The one that's like, I take a piece of man, but this single thing, I don't like being single. And so you got a lot of guys that are looking for that. And once they find that, they're like, okay, bingo, I got you. You that type of woman is going to be like the boat with the anchor. In other words, you'll always be there. Now I'm just going to run the streets and find some more, but you'll be there no matter what I do. I'm going to make a story. One of these days, I keep telling myself I'm so far behind in videos, but I'm going to make a story about a lady named Lucy. Lucy was one of my father's girlfriends. My goodness. Shout out to Lucy. Lucy was one in a million. My daddy stayed with Lucy. My daddy promised Lucy for about, I'm just guessing, at least 40 years he was going to marry her. No, damn well he was not going to marry her. First of all, let me back up. Boy, Lucy was a fox. My goodness, that was a beautiful lady. Ooh, Lord have mercy, Lucy was beautiful. But some kind of way, Lucy let my daddy put those hooks in her. And my daddy could, like I always say, he could get paid on a Friday. You might see him on a Wednesday. The whole weekend he with his other women. But he knew when he came home to Lucy gonna have his food cooked. Lucy's gonna have his bath water drawn, his slippers, the newspaper, and Lucy gonna let him sit in his chair. And Lucy ain't gonna say one word about where the hell you been for the past 5 days. Not one. Nope. And my daddy lived at Lucy's place. My daddy lived at Lucy's place. He come there, man. So anyway, Lucy was a beautiful lady. As the old folks say, love my daddy dirty draws. And she loved her some Johnny. Lucy, back in those days, of course, you had the telephone, the house phone, of course, no cell phones and things of that nature, but you had the house phone and you had the cord. The cord wasn't no more, I'm guessing maybe 3 feet. And so when the phone rang, it wasn't, you take the phone and you could take the phone to another room and have some privacy. No, the phone was right there in the living room. So the women were so bold. See, my daddy had the women trained. My daddy said, call Lucy house. Call Lucy house. What? You want me to call your girlfriend? Yeah, call my girlfriend house. The side women called Lucy house. Lucy answered the phone. Hey, let me speak to Johnny. Lucy take the phone and hand it to my daddy. And don't say one word. I'm looking like, Lord Jesus, what in the world is this? Lucy, man, the women would call the women would call Lucy's phone, and Lucy picked the phone up. Hello, can I speak to Johnny? Yeah, he's sitting right here. And hand my daddy the phone, and my daddy talking to the women like Lucy not even there. I say, my goodness. So what am I saying? It's a lot of men that's looking for Lucy's. That's all I'm saying. Oh, my goodness. Oh, my goodness, there's a lot of men looking for Lucy, a woman like Lucy. Because I never did understand Lucy because she was so beautiful. Oh, that woman was beautiful. And I never could understand it. I couldn't. Lucy, why are you putting up with this foolishness? Why you put up with? But I don't know. I really don't know. It's just one of those things. I guess we'll never know. But Luke, like I said, I'm gonna do a video about that. My daddy would go to the clubs. Back then they call them lounges. 75th Street, we're talking about Chicago, Illinois. 75th Street, 79th Street, 63rd Street, 83rd and Cottage Grove, 83rd and King Drive, 51st and all his spots. Talk to the women, give them Lucy's phone number. Like I said, my daddy stayed with Lucy, stayed with her. He give the women he meet Lucy's phone number to Lucy's house. ain't that's bold? And like I said, the phone ring. Let me speak to Johnny. Lucy, my daddy never answered the phone. Never. He'd never answered the phone because he'll just sit there and let that phone ring if Lucy wasn't there. Because sometimes he'll get to the point where I don't feel like being bothered with none of them women. I'm hitting the streets. I don't want to talk to nobody. So if Lucy wasn't there, the phone just going to ring. But if Lucy there, Lucy's going to answer the phone. It's going to be one of his side women. Lucy hand him the phone, and he talk, whatever. Then next thing you know, he'll go in there, put his clothes on, he heading out. Bam, but deuces. And Lucy just sit there watching All in the Family. Lucy loved them Western movies, Chuck Norris and The Virginian and all that. She watched her Western, but Lord, boy, that was a beautiful woman. My goodness, that woman was beautiful. All right, somebody say that's bold. Yeah, but hey, what is that? That's some bold. There's some, like I said, there's some men out there looking for them Lucy types. Yeah, looking for those Lucy types. And it's just one of those things. She said, Sabrina said Lucy didn't know. I agree with you right there. I'm going to tell you, man, look, I'll tell you a story about a woman, they call her Rawhide when I get time. See, woo. All right, Anika says that's why we got the feminist movement because of a situation like Lucy's. I agree with you 100%, Anika. All in the Family, that's my show. Now, what you know about All in the Family? Who is that? Cat BX? What do you know about All in the Family? Nee says, my dad's girlfriend was up. See that? She says, my dad's girlfriend was exactly like Lucy. I had absolutely no respect for her because of that. To this day, she's still like that, and they are. Yeah. Somebody said, Lucy and my pops had an understanding. Janae says, finish my please. Oh, I am so sorry. What was the question? Because I get carried away in a minute. Let me back up to find your question. But again, when you talk about married men, and the situations that are out there, the opportunities, we got to be careful. All right, let me back up. Let me find that. All right, don't forget to answer the other half of my question. I'm still trying to find it. All right, so while I'm trying to find Janae's question, phone lines are open. Okay, here we go, right here. All right, so she says, what do you think about single until marriage? With that logic, does cheating technically count before marriage, socially and emotionally? I believe it does, but technically it does not. Okay, again, if I were a woman, and knowing males' behavior the way I do, the only way I would play it if I were a woman is no sex before marriage. That would be me. Now, she says, with that logic, does cheating technically count before marriage? Does cheating technically count before marriage? Socially and emotionally, I believe it does. But I would say cheating does count. I would agree with you and say cheating does count as well. And the reason why is, if this is a person that you've decided that you want to be in a committed relationship with, and you decide, one of the parties decides to, they can't hold their discipline or whatnot, and they slip and have sex or whatnot, I would definitely consider that cheating. See, the reason, if I were a woman, I would play it that way is because there are so many men out here who will not be honest with a lady if they are only looking for a hookup, or friends with benefits, or just pure sex. There's so many men. I would estimate, I'm just estimating, that I would say 8 out of 10 men are not looking to get married, but looking to have sex at all costs. In other words, they will lie, they will scheme, they would cheat, they would come up with schemes. That's just me. I would say 8 out of 10. But you got 2 out of 10. Now, let me talk about that 8 out of 10 real quickly, because I don't want ladies to think that it's all doom and gloom. Once again, it's just my opinion. Let me tell you something. See, that 8 out of 10, 7 out of the 8 is also deep down inside looking for a good woman. But that 7 out of the 8, they'll take what they can get until they meet Mrs. Right. Now, let me back up to make sure we're on the same page. What I'm saying is, yeah, you got a lot of guys, you got a lot of F-boys and the A-holes and the players and the pickup artists and all that. But I'm saying the majority of them, I don't care what they say. I don't care if they talking about I'm going my own way. Listen, don't go for that crap. Why? Because he has a flesh beneath him. Everybody wants love. Everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be appreciated. Everybody wants to give love, and everybody wants to receive love. So don't let these men fool you when they talking about, man, I don't deal with women no more. I just focus on me. Listen, man, please. Now, I applaud them for focusing on them, but you still got this thing up here that you got to battle with as a man every day, 24/7, that's telling you, okay, you got this big house, you got this king-size bed, but where's your queen to help fulfill you? Where's your queen to help you build your destiny? Where's your queen to help you fulfill your purpose and you help fulfill her purpose? That's unavoidable. So I don't care how much you hear these men talk about this thing. I think it's called men going their own way, mitgal or something like that. Man, you ladies better stop believing that foolishness. His penis gets erect just like any other man. What the hell you think he doing then? He either masturbating or he's seeing some women. Don't get it twisted. Oh, he's doing something. Like I said, these emails from women saying that, why are these men refusing to date? That's talk. All that is talk. Because a man, we could be shopping any restaurant. We could be, shopping at any grocery store. We could be at any restaurant. We could be at any place outside of our homes, and we'll see something and say, God damn, she's sexy and pretty. I have to try and get to know her better. That's all men. We're not going to look and say, no, we're going to keep looking. And sooner or later that urge, boy, you better go talk to her. You better go talk. You better go talk. So, this new campaign that maybe some of you ladies are concerned about, from a male's perspective, that's unsustainable. No way. No way. I don't believe it one bit. Now, you may have that 5%, maybe that 5%. That 5% that was like my daddy, who just gonna be street running, male, gigolo, you know what I'm saying. You might have that small percentage that's like him, that's just like till I die. That's how I'm coming. But the rest, that's a lot of talk. Because why? We are human. Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't let these men fool you. I don't date no more. I'm going my own way. I'm focusing on my purpose. Yeah, you focusing on your purpose, but your flesh is telling you to be with a woman all day, every day. And the more time you go without one, the more time your flesh is telling you need one. So you can let it, you let these guys fool you if you want. But men, we know better. Oh, we know better. Somebody said 1%. Yeah, it could be 1%. Yeah, somebody said probably 2%. All right. I'm saying the woman is waiting until marriage, but the man cheated due to lack of self-control. Is that cheating? Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Oh, that's cheating. Now he got to go. See, again, that would be my standpoint if I were a woman, because if you let that slide, you got some men who have cheated, and they have, they got caught, they were busted. And they were truly, truly, truly sorry for what they did. And when they say it's not going to happen again, they mean that. There's a few of them, but usually, he cheat, and he laid that sad story down to you, and you took him back. For a lot of guys, that's a sign that, okay, I could get away with this again. Because, again, as men, a lot of times we look at patterns, we look at trends, and based upon those patterns and trends, we'll start to form theories. Oh, you let me slide this time, you let me slide this time, you let me slide this time, you let me slide this time. Oh, you let me slide 4 times. Okay. All you're doing is talk. So you got to be careful of those things. So, again, phone lines are open, 225-397-6922. I got 7:41 my time. But again, ladies, you got to be careful out there, because, again, there are some married men out there who are not going to tell you absolutely nothing as far as that they're married, but they're going to lie to you. Not going to tell you anything. All right, Ms. Sanders says men are flocking to the McGowan community in droves right now. They are only interested in FWB and not relationships or cohabitation, and certainly not marriage. Okay, I see that statement, Ms. Sanders, but again, I'm going to disagree slightly, because the majority of those men who say they're going in that direction, I promise you, that's talk. That's talk. All it takes is the right woman, and his mind will change like that. That's how powerful women are. Men, we could do a lot of talk. Sometimes we'll get our hearts broken, and we'll say, man, that's it, man. I ain't dealing with no more women. I'm tired of getting my heart broke. And the next thing we know, we saw something like, oh, Lord. And we right back at it again. Why? Because it's the power. Opposites attract. Men attracted to women. Women are attracted to men. You can't get around that. I don't care how strong you say your mind is. You tell that to somebody else. How many times have you heard somebody say, I'm going on a diet? It's the same thing. You hear somebody say, your friend says she's going on a diet, or he says he's going on a diet. How long does that diet last? A week, 2 weeks, maybe 2 months, maybe 6 months, maybe 1 year. Then what happens? Next thing you know, they're back at Domino's Pizza. They're back at Burger King. They got a big pint, a half a gallon of ice cream. They got a shrimp po' boy. You got a Whopper with cheese, a large order of fries, a 2-liter Coke, a 6-pack of Nestle's Crunch, a box of lemon heads, hot shots. I mean, come on. The same foods that people say, I'm giving it up. I'm giving it up. No more chocolate. No more Coca-Colas. No more Sprites. No more 7-Ups. No more ice cream. I'm giving it up. I'm going to get this weight off of me. And they do good for a little while. It's the same thing. Them urges come back. You look at that commercial and you see that big old Pizza Hut pizza commercial. And you're like, ooh, why did they show me that sausage and pepperoni pizza right now with all that cheese? Next thing you know, you say, the hell with that diet. And a lot of times, people quit diets and you put on more weight than where you were the first time. What was that? That thing in our brain. You know, I'm pretty sure y'all heard of that term, dopamine. When it registers that high, what do? We search for that same high, whether it be sugar, whether it be drugs or whatever. The mind is looking for that same, whether it be sex. All right. Goddamn. All right. Again, phone lines are open. I got 7:45. If we don't get any calls, I may shut it down around 8 o'clock. Get ready. All right, somebody said the more they say they're not going to eat donuts, the more they want to indulge. Yeah. That sugar is a powerful that's a powerful drug. It really is. All right, somebody says, can you answer my what people? The phone lines are open if you want to call in. Every chat I'm not able to see. What was your question? Can you answer my question, please? Let me scroll back and see if I can find it. Go ahead and retype your question in the chat, if you don't mind. All right, somebody says men definitely front for other men. They are still sexing women. Of course they are. They just don't respect women. Listen, if ladies, if you really think that if you think that men can go without women and we are not thinking about you, and we are not desiring to be with you, you please think again. It doesn't work that way. No, all that is rhetoric. That's just propaganda. That's just men talking. You have no idea what they're doing behind closed doors. No idea. Look at the advice that Kevin Samuels was given. And then he came back and did just the opposite of what he was saying at the end. It was talk. That's all it is. So if a man telling you he's not dating and he's going his own way and F women and all that, that's just talk. When he goes home and he sits around and his penis gets erect, and it is going to get erect, and he is going to want to desire sex, what do you think he's doing? Go and take a cold shower, or go jump in the bathtub and just wash himself down with some ice? No, it does not work that way. At the end of the day, we are still animals. Men desire, men want the attention to be with a woman, the scent of a woman, the fragrance of a woman. just the closeness of a woman. We desire that. All right. She said, what if I don't want to get married? I don't want children. How should I navigate a relationship without getting used? I would like to be in a relationship for a long period of time, though. All right. So if you don't want to get married, that's totally up to you. But you got to understand, the man is going to want to have sex. And you're the only one that can decide if you want to have sex or not. Now, this is where the gamble comes in, because you can get into a sexual relationship with a man, and some men, that's all they were looking for. And if you don't want that commitment, if you don't want marriage, then you gotta look at it for what it is. And a lot of times men may get into a sexual relationships. A lot of times sex plays out. So what happens when a man gets tired of your sex? You're going to have sex with somebody else. So that means he could tell you, okay, this relationship is over. It was based on sex. Sex played out. I'm walking out the door. I'm going to find somebody else. So again, when you talk about you don't want to get married, that's totally your choice, and you don't want children. That's totally your choice. But when you say, how should I navigate a relationship without getting used? That's a gamble. I don't know anybody who can answer that question, because the relationship, what's the relationship going to be based upon? I don't know too many men who want a relationship just based upon friendship, where there's no sex involved, where there's no intimacy. I don't know any, because men get in a relationship, men want sex regardless, relationship or not. And then she says, I would like to be in a relationship for a long period of time, though. See, who is this? All right. I'm just going to call you Whitney. All right. Whitney. See, when you talk about you want to be in a relationship for a long time, there's a lot of men who are willing to do that. But you got to understand, when you talk about long time, these years are flying. And let's say you're 22 and you're in a relationship such as that, and 4 years go by, now you're 26. And that guy decides to leave or whatnot. Or that guy, you told the guy you didn't want to get married. At 22, he may have agreed to that. And then you get older, 26, 27. What if that guy makes up his mind one day and say, you know what, I changed my mind. I do want to experience marriage, and I do want to experience being a father. And, you don't want to do those things. He said, well, I'm going to find somebody I want to build a family with. And so now you got 4 years of your life that's basically gone. And you got so many men out there that will take you up on that agreement. What is that? That's basically friends with benefits. That's just the way I see it. So again, those are your choices, but you got to please consider those consequences. Please consider the consequences, because there are a lot of men that will take you up on that. Some will seriously take you up on that. Some will lie to you and say they're serious about taking you up on that, get the benefits, but they're going to be seeing other women at the same time. So you gotta please consider those consequences that you may have to face. All right. Ms. Downing says, why is it that the man I want don't want me, and the ones that don't want me? That's the $1 million question right there. All right. Why is it that the man I want don't want me? Then she says, the ones I want that want me, I don't want. All right, let me start at that second question first. All right, the men that want you, we all like what we like. So the flip side of that means we don't like what we don't like. And so I totally respect that. But a lot of men that you may not like, were in your face because they approached you once again, because I always talk about the numbers games. There are a lot of women who I've had correspondence with that say, they're just getting bombarded by men approaching them, and in their estimation, it's the wrong type of man, the wrong type of guy is approaching them. And one of the things I try and explain to them is that the guy is just basically trying to talk to pretty much any woman in his vicinity, because all he's looking for is that one yes. So he doesn't mind approaching 50, 75, whatever the number is, because he's just looking for that one yes that person is interested in them. So I think a lot of ladies, you're getting caught up in those guys who just want to, who just playing the numbers game, and they're just approaching everything pretty much in their sight. They'll walk up to and start talking to, just hoping that, once, they'll get that yes or that positive response. All right. Now, the first question, part of the question, she says, why is it that the men I want don't want me? The only thing I can say about that is, like I said, we all like what we like. Now, if you like somebody, okay, let me rephrase that. One of the things that I had to learn early on, especially when I was a younger man, and I was interested in women, and I would approach women and whatnot. When I got rejected by women, I had to learn real quickly that it wasn't personal. I learned that. How did I learn that? A woman told me. I'll never forget. I learned that from a woman, and I learned a lot of other things from women. And that was, to me, that was one of the turning points in my life, especially one of the lessons that I had to learn as far as, if you want to know something, go to the source. In other words, as a young man, I was getting so much information about women from men. And so I'm getting information about women from men. I'm thinking it's right, but a lot of that stuff was totally wrong. Why? Because I was not going to the source. I should have been going to women to find out what women like and what women don't like, instead of going to men. So I'll never forget, one time I was dealing with this older lady, and that's one of the things she had to explain to me. She was like, listen, if you approach a woman or you like a woman and she doesn't like you, don't take it personally. You were just not the one. You can't take it personally if somebody is not interested in you. You just wasn't the one. Now I can't tell you some other things. But I'll never forget her. She was very, very blunt. And she talked about certain parts of a woman starts to be aroused. She said, if you don't make certain parts of us aroused or make certain parts of us jump, I know y'all can read between the lines. She was like, that's just how it is. But she said, don't take it personal. You just didn't get her. You just don't arouse her. She doesn't find you attractive in that way. And so once I understood that, I'm like, okay, it's not me. It's the person. I just don't do it for that person. And that's what we got to understand. Hello, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. How are you?
I'm doing fine. What's your name? And this Dallas?
No, this is not Dallas.
Oh, okay. All right.
No.
How you doing? What's going
Actually, I
on?
want to kind of like use a different name, because I noticed that there are men who are listening to your videos and commenting, and I don't know why they're listening to your video, because it's for women. So I don't want them to connect my name, look at my name on the screen on the chat, and then try to reach out. Because I just like to stay anonymous. But I just have a question for you. So you mentioned that a lot of the men are looking for situations, pretty much. And then you said there are some that want something more fulfilling, something more meaningful. I'm just hoping that I'm asking because I'm not at that prime age of the 20s and 30s. I'm more like in the 40s age range. And it's like, my question is, are there men in my age range who are looking for more of a serious relationship? Now, I am I'm recently divorced, and it's been a little bit of time, so I am looking to date again,
Yeah.
and then get maybe let it grow into something serious, and then marriage again. But I don't want to waste my time if everyone in my age group is just looking for situationships and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah. See, I think at 40, I think 40 is a great age. And I'm gonna tell you why. From a male's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
it's something about a man when we start hitting around, I would say around 36, 37, 38. It's something about us where it's like a light bulb comes on.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas we look at all the things that we did in our 20s, which was in a lot of instances, running the streets, jumping from this woman to this woman to this woman to this woman to this woman, not committing, just sowing oats sexually.
Mm-hmm.
And it's something about that age, again, I would say around 36, 37, or 40 for sure, where it's like a light bulb that comes into a lot of men's, for a lot of men, where we say, you know what, enough of the games.
Mm-hmm.
Enough of the games. I'm tired of this. Enough. Because, we can look back and we can see that basically what King Solomon said on his deathbed. King Solomon, basically had 33 wives and 700 concubines. But on his deathbed, King Solomon said it all was not even worth it. It was like it was like a flame of smoke.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, I wasted all of that time, and it was worthless. So a lot of times that thing pops off in our mind around that age group that you're in right now, and a lot of times you got some men that are looking for the exact type of woman that you are, that you are right there. So,
Mm-hmm.
in other words, a lot of men, I'm not saying men at that age don't play games, but I think the men who are playing games in their 20s, the games really start to end or to get lower around when they're 37, 38, somewhere in there, 36. So I think at the age group that you're in now, are you looking for marriage or what are you looking for?
Yeah, eventually I would like to get married again. Yep.
Yeah. I mean, are you looking for a man in that age category or what?
Definitely, because my last husband was 10 years older than me, and I think that was just too much of a difference. Yeah, it's too much. We gotta relate.
Yeah.
We must relate. So I'd rather it be someone at least a year or two older than me. In that age range, 2 or 3 years older, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
But 10 years, no. Mm-mm.
Yeah. I understand, but I think if that's what you're looking for, marriage, I think a lot more men are from a mental standpoint, mentally ready for marriage around that age, that you are referring to, because again, very very few men in their 20s are mentally strong enough to commit to one woman and put down those sexual urges and put those sexual urges down and say, nope, I'm only going to have sex with one woman. Again, you talking about men in their 20s, you're talking about men, they're in their sexual peak. All you have to do is pick up a biology book if you don't believe me.
Mm-hmm.
And, but your age, the age that you're talking about, what city are you in, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm actually where Dallas is. I'm in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Okay. So you're in the Queen City too.
I am.
Yeah. You know what? Like I said, I'm on the outside looking in, but it's certain cities such as Charlotte and Dallas and Houston and Seattle and Minneapolis. They just make these cities out to be just dating paradises. That's not the case.
Like I said, I'm newly divorced, and after the divorce, I only dated like once or twice. there are a lot of people moving here by the droves.
Yeah.
So no one's actually from Charlotte, nor am I. But I would say yeah, I would say that. But I just feel like is it just like a playground? Like they just want to see how many women they can get? Because that was my experience, my last experience. I think the guy was just trying to see how many women he can get, and he wanted me. He wanted to put me in that pocket you talk about, and I wasn't having that because it was not
Yeah.
that. It's not that serious. Like I don't care what you do. I'm self sufficient, so I don't need. You're not gonna treat me like Lucy. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah. Oh, so you were listening to the earlier part, huh?
Oh yeah, Lucy. I feel sorry for her. Goodness gracious.
Man, Lucy. Hey, for some reason that's the role she wanted to play. I mean, she took
Yeah.
pride in that.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. But again, I think you're in a good spot, especially at 40 years old to meet a guy, 38, 39, 40, 41, somewhere in there, because it's like the fog has cleared, and then we look at life for what life really is, and which you want a significant other, and you want somebody who you can build with. You want somebody who you can laugh together with. You want somebody who can be your best friend and your lover. You want somebody who you can you can date. You want somebody who has your back, and that person has your back, and it almost seems like men, we have blinders on. And around that age, like I said earlier, 37, 38, 40, or whatnot, it's like those blinders come off. And we say, damn, I'm tired of that. And your boys will call you, and your boys will call you up. You say, hey, man, let's go out. Nah, man, I ain't going out no more. Okay, we'll call you next week. They call you next week. Hey, let's go out. Bruh, no, I ain't going out anymore. And then your boys are like, well, man, we don't understand, man. I'm maturing. So I think that's the right word. It seems like a lot of men mature, and I know you saying, I know some of you may be like, he should have matured, but from a sexual standpoint and running the streets and playing games and trying to be a player, and it seems like that light bulb really doesn't come on for a man till around that age. So that's why I feel that you're in a great position, and I also feel that you're in a perfect spot. Charlotte, North Carolina.
And let me just ask you a question because I did meet the last guy through the dating sites, which I'm totally against now.
Why is that?
Because those guys, the dating sites are horrible. Like I don't think that's a good place to meet somebody. I think they all just trying to play a numbers game, and they are married for the most part, and then you don't know if they even the people they say they are.
Yeah.
So I don't have time for that. I don't want to play with no one on the phone. What would you recommend be a decent place for people in my age group? would be a good place to meet a nice gentleman?
In Charlotte, or you mean in general?
No, in Charlotte.
Yeah. Number one, I would say, see cities like Charlotte, it's not like a city like I live in, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You live in a major city, and you deal with there's just so many different types of the opposite sex that you have access to that somebody like myself in a small city in Louisiana does not. But I would suggest, number one, if I were in a major city, if I were in Chicago, Charlotte, Miami, Los Angeles, one of those type of cities, and if I were a woman, number one, I would be going by men's clothing stores. That's just me. Because men's clothing stores, let me tell you why I put that as number one. Because when you're in those type of cities that you're in, Dallas, Houston, Charlotte, whatever, St. Louis, when you're in those type of cities, see, you got a lot more men who take pride in looking like a man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I would say men's clothing stores, number one, because see, now you're dealing with men who take pride in their appearance. Now, I'm not saying that they're dogs and that they are not dogs and players or whatnot, but you're dealing with a different type of individual in my estimation. So I would say number one, men's clothing store. Number two, I would say the golf course. That's just me.
Mm-hmm.
Because again, you're talking about okay, men's clothing store. At a men's clothing store, there's a good chance you're not going to meet men, 22, 23, 24, maybe I would say maybe 27 on up. When I talk about men's clothing stores, I'm not talking about the stores that sell the hip hop gear. No, not that hip hop gear. No, men's clothing store where they sell the type of clothes that men like to wear. So I'm not talking about no jeans, none of that. But anyway, I would say that's number one. Number two, I would say a golf course. Why do I say a golf course? Because again, you're talking about an age group of men, anywhere from, 32 on up that take pride in the sport of golf. It's a leisure sport. It's a sport where a lot of men, a lot of professional type men hang out. A lot of guys who deal in stocks and bonds and real estate and mutual funds and IRAs and CEOs. And I don't know what type of man that you're looking for, but if you're looking for the well-educated type man or whatnot, So I would say again, clothing store, men's clothing store, number one, golf course, number two, number three, I would say high-end steakhouse, restaurant, cigar bar. Now, a lot of women have said that they don't like the smoke of the cigar bar, but if you can stand the smoke, see, a cigar bar, a cigar smoke is totally different from cigarette smoke. Totally, you can't even compare those two.
Yeah.
But anyway, I don't know if that's your thing, but you would be surprised how many high quality good men just like to take a break sometime and enjoy a good cigar.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that would be number
sounds
three.
Good.
Huh?
So that sounds good.
Man, you hit that. Trust me, you hit whatever the clothing, the men clothing stores. And I ain't talking about that K&G either. You find out, I ain't talking about K&G.
Oh, right.
No. I ain't trying to be funny, but I'm not talking about K&G.
I got you.
We got them K&Gs in Louisiana.
Yeah.
No. No. And the reason I say that, you just sound like you sound like you on another level.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. But no K&G. But Charlotte, they got the men's clothing store exactly what I'm talking about. I promise you that.
Yeah.
I guarantee you Charlotte got it. Yeah. So,
all right.
Lady Reagan,
sounds
good point. Yeah. Charlotte is a banking city. They are big finances and have a lot of finance based events. Just right. Yeah. She said not K&G. Yeah, not K&G. So again, I would say the men's clothing stores, the golf course, what did I say? Steak houses, cigar bars, high-end restaurants.
Okay.
I don't know how you feel about this, but fraternity meetings, things of that nature.
But they parties. They have fraternity parties here. They have fraternity parties here for the older crowd. Yeah.
Now, I don't know about the fraternity parties. Now that's up to you. But there are a lot of fraternity meetings that go on as well. The conventions, things of that nature at cities such as Charlotte. Because I'm gonna tell you something. There are a lot of single men out there. Please do not let whatever you've been hearing out there fool you. A lot of things. Essence Festival coming up in a couple of weeks. What is that? Essence will be here in what 5 more weeks, something like that. Yeah. So once again, you're in Charlotte. But you cannot lose with the men's clothing stores, the golf courses, the cigar bars, the steak houses, things of that nature. No way. Now, how
Okay.
you feel about church?
I'm not going to do that. Nope, not going to do it.
So the church,
I'm going
okay,
to
okay,
go
okay.
with the
So
other options you mentioned. I'm going to do all of the above, but church, I'm not going to do that.
no,
Just for
no,
my own
no
personal
church, huh?
reasons. Mm-mm.
Yeah,
No.
but you know what? I'm hearing a lot of that from ladies as far as just running across some straight, just well, I wouldn't say losers, but the wrong type of men in church.
Yeah, because they're looking for. They always say that women in church are freaks, so that's what they go. That's what they're going for. That's what kind of men is going in to those places, and I'm not that. So
I got you.
no.
I got you.
Mm-mm.
I got you. I got you.
No.
Okay. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
I think that's it for tonight.
Well, keep,
Let someone else call in.
keep us posted, especially with those lists I gave you. I would love to know how it worked out for you.
I definitely will. I'll email you.
All right. Take care.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye bye.
Bye-bye. All right. All right. Excellent call coming in from the Queen City. We got some comments. Somebody said no church. Jazz Lounge. Yeah, good place. JoJo once said the girls' trip got me interested in the Essence Festival. Yeah. Essence Festival, again, if you can handle the heat, if you can handle that Louisiana heat, it's a beautiful place, especially for the professional, upscale, educated, whatever. I mean, Essence has something for everybody. But how many times can you be in one location where you have that many people that you can mix and mingle with? That's hard to do. They used to tell us when we were in college back in the 80s, they would say, right now, the dean, who was that, Marvin Yates, used to always tell us that you college students, right now, this is the best time to find your mate right here in college. And he used to always say, the reason why is you will never in your life be around this many available single men and women. And as a young college student, I used to say, man, what Dr. Yates talking about? But as I got older, I realized what he was saying, and he was exactly right. So even if you live in a city like Charlotte or Chicago or, Atlanta, he was talking about in that one particular place, that college, that university, where you would have that many available single men and women. And to me, it's the same thing as Essence, where you have that many people in one location for those 3 days. All right. Shanae says, I was 21 at the time. All right. Somebody said, yeah, tell your testimony. Shanae says, I want to tell my testimony so bad. It's about this man who showed me some stuff and changed my life. Yeah, call in and tell us. All right. We got 26 in the room. Thank you once again taking time out of your busy schedule to tune in. I really appreciate it. Got to send a very, very, very special thanks to LaTanya for the Cash App. I really appreciate that, especially in today's times. I don't know how much gas is wherever you live at, but gas is regular gas down here in Louisiana is $4.19. And so, with the times that we live in, people sending Cash App donations, financial donations, I really appreciate it because I can just imagine what inflation is like, in a place such as Los Angeles, or Seattle, or one of those type cities. So thank you, Latonya, for the Cash App. I really appreciate it. All right. Anybody want to call in? Phone line is open. 225-397-6922, 297-397. Somebody says gas is $1. I don't drive anywhere. All right. Somebody says, what are your thoughts on Kevin Samuels? When you have a guy, when you have a man saying that giving advice to a lady that if you want a high value man, that you need to sleep with him as soon as possible, 3 days, within a week, within 2 weeks, within 3 weeks. If a man, in my estimation, if a man is giving a woman that type of advice, I definitely cannot get on board with that. Because, as I always say, there's so many men out there who pride themselves on game, G-A-M-E. And one of the things I always say is, in order for a game to be effective, a person has to, A, come up with the game, and then number 2, come up with rules and regulations to make the game that they created benefit them. And so, I can't get on board with that, because I'm a firm believer in which the advice that you give, that should be the same advice that you would live by if you were in that situation. So if I'm a man and I'm telling a woman that she needs to, in order to grab a high value man, you need to sleep with him as quickly as he wants sex, that means that I would do the same thing if I were a woman. And so I can't get on board with that. Again, you coming up with things to help substantiate the game that you invented. For example, rate yourself from a scale of 1 to 10, and you cannot use 7. Well, damn. But once again, this is why I try and explain women about game. Somebody has to come up with the game, and then someone has to implement rules and regulations for the game to benefit the person who created it. So if you ask me to rate myself and I can't use 7, that means that you just changed the game. But you changed the game that you invented. So you changed the game that you invented to benefit who? Not me, but you. So if I'm a school teacher, which I am, I'm a teacher. If I give a student a test and I say, okay, you're either the test is from 0 to 100, but you can't make a 70 through 79. So what do you think the student is going to do? If the student is smart, the student is going to go right down to the dean's office and say, hey, dean, wait a minute. I got a professor in here telling me he's giving me the test, but his instructions say that I cannot make a 70 through 79. Who came up with that rule? I did. Why? Some sick reason or whatever, but you get the point. So that's where I can't get on board with certain people who give advice, but if you were in that situation, you would not give that advice. There's no way in the world a man who tells you you need to sleep with a woman I'm sorry, that would tell a woman, advise a woman that she needs to sleep with a man within 3 days or 3 weeks or whatever, as soon as possible, as soon as he wants sex, there's no way he would do the same thing if he were a woman. No way. Why? Because we know males' behavior. We know men are get in there and get your sex and sky up and say bye, deuces, and lose all respect for you. And then they'll call you up, or we'll call you up when we want sex again. So if you can't, the advice that you give, if you can't, put yourself in that person's position that you're giving that advice to, I couldn't get on board with that. So that's just my take on it. But I hope women didn't fall for that. Because there's some men out there that will try and pressure you into this. Hey. I'm the CEO of this firm, this Fortune 500 company. So many women are chomping at the bits to get at me. Now I'm giving you this opportunity, but we got to seal this deal. You need to have sex with me as quickly as possible. See, and that goes back to this high value man thing phrase that we have going out there. Ladies, you better understand. All that is basically what a man does for a living. That doesn't mean he's not an abuser. That doesn't mean he will not cheat on you. That doesn't mean he does not have STDs. That doesn't mean that he's going to commit only to you. That's just what he does for a living. Now, what about his education? Well, that's what he did in order to better himself, to put himself in that position. But education has nothing to do with what a man will say or do when we get an erect penis. Nothing. What a man does for a living has nothing to do with what we will say or do when we want sex from a woman. And with the names or whatever, some lines that we think may impress you to get you on our side, to lower your defenses, and then maybe, wine and dine you for a little while. Next thing you know, we're in bed together. Education, what a man does for a living, has nothing to do with that. A man who makes minimum wage will cheat on you just as quick as a man who makes 6 figures. They both men at the end of the day. One just does a specific thing for a living compared to the other one. One may have a specific educational background compared to the other, but they both will cheat on you. They both will conjure up games. In some instances, they both will go oops upside your head for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They both will sleep with your sister if your sister was down with the program. They both will take money from you. They'll take time. They'll expect you to sacrifice and take time away from your children, your family, or whatnot if you let them. They both have the propensity to do those things. So please, whatever you do, don't get involved. Don't get caught up in what he does for a living and his educational background and things of that nature. Because why? Because beneath all that, he's still a man. High earning man doesn't mean high value man. We have, all right, what time we got? 8:28. Okay, phone lines are open. Goddess KC, yes, and we'll tell you if you don't, you will only be with the simp. That's a great point, Goddess. So again, people, all it is game. All it is talk. And I hate to see some of you young ladies just get talked out of your morals. You get talked out of your values. You get talked out of your beliefs. You get talked out of your convictions. Just straight talk. You didn't put him through any type. You didn't force him to work for anything. That's why, again, see, if you're not forcing these men to work, you gotta make him work for every inch. You gotta make him work for your phone number. Trust me, he'll work. He will. Or guess what? If he didn't, good riddance. All right. Somebody said you're not painting a good picture for men. Explain that to me. You're not painting a good picture for men. Okay. She said I'm not painting a good picture for men. I'm trying to figure out what you're saying. I'm not painting a good picture. No. But see, the picture I'm trying to paint is at the end of the day, men are going to follow women's lead. Now, that's always going to be first and foremost, in my humble estimation. See, men are always going to follow women's lead. What do I mean by that? You make it easy, men are going to follow that lead. You have sex too early, men are going to follow that lead. Bust it wide open, you want to twerk, men are going to follow that lead. You carry yourself like a thought, men are going to follow that lead. Flip side, you carry yourself like a queen. Men are going to adjust and follow that lead. There are so many good men out there. But what I'm saying is, to get to those good men, you may have to, no, I wouldn't say may, you're going to have to go through a lot of the bad ones. But if you got a system in place to weed those bad ones out, it won't be so painful. It definitely won't be that painful. But the system, that trainings, vetting system, however you call it, has to be in place. And that's why men look for those things. Men look for how many different types of security systems do you have in place. And the less that you have in place, the more men can spot that and will take advantage of that. That's why I always tell women, anything that's moving fast is catering to the man. Anything that's moving fast, catering to the man. Kiss him too fast, cater to us. Hug him too fast, that caters to us. You return those text messages and those phone calls too fast, that caters to us. You take your clothes off too fast, have sex with us, that caters to us. Men want things to go fast. That's why, ladies, you're in control. That's why you got to drive the car. And you drive that car 5 miles an hour. And I promise you, we will adjust. We'll adjust. Mr. Right will adjust. Why? Because Mr. Right is going to understand what you're doing. He's going to understand exactly what you are doing. All right, Tyrus the Great One says, my best male friend said most women are stupid because they don't want to listen when a man is trying to give them the game. Got to agree with you on that. The only disagreement I would have with that, Tyrus the Great One, is that I try and give women knowledge. Because I'm a firm believer in what I said earlier. See, game, to me, game has to have some type of manipulation. Why? Because a game is designed for somebody to win. See, when people who go into casinos, they got so many casinos down here in Louisiana, you would be surprised how many people think when they go in that casino that they're actually going to beat that casino. They really think. But guess what? The casino is set up on what? Game. The odds have to be in the casino's favor. Can you win? Sometimes, yes. But the odds are you're going to play it right back. And even if you win at the casino, you're just that one of that 1/10 of 1%. The rest of the 99.9999, all that money went to the casino. Why? Because the casino understands game. Make this game benefit us. We come up with the rules. If you're a great what's that game? Blackjack player. If you are a great blackjack player and you don't cheat, you just a damn good blackjack player. Sooner or later, the casino is gonna say, "Nope, we banning you from this casino. You can't even come in here no more." And you're not cheating. What you're doing? You beat them at their own game. You're beating them at their own. You're not counting the cards. You're not cheating. You're just a doggone good blackjack player. And that casino looking at the casino say sooner or later, you cannot come in here anymore. You are banned from this casino. You're beating them at their own game. They don't like that. No. So that's what I'm trying to get you ladies to understand. You have to control the tempo. Don't let us control it. Because if you let us control it, you're in for a long ride. A long ride. So I'm not painting a bad picture on men. I'm just trying to help give you knowledge on some men's behavior. All right, what time is it? 8:35. I'll take one more phone call, and then we'll wrap it up. Let's see. Get back to the chat real quickly. All right, she said women don't know men but complain. Learn the game, honey. Yeah, I'm still lost on something. I gotta figure that one out. Lady Ray says, watch. Anyone watch The Real? I used to, I guess, love that show, but kind of glad they're getting canceled. I don't want women's speculation on what men think. Yes, see again. I'm a firm believer. Once again, going to the source. See, if you got a Mercedes Benz, and the car needs to go to service, why would you take the Mercedes Benz to the BMW dealership to get serviced? No, if you have a Mercedes Benz, take that to the Mercedes Benz, because the BMW dealership, that service center, different parts. It's not going to match up. And vice versa. If you got a BMW, it makes no sense to take it to the Mercedes Benz dealership to get the oil change or get the tune up. The parts are not going to match up. They're going to say, no, you take that back to the BMW dealership. And the same thing with women and men. As I said earlier, when I was a younger man, I got so much information about women from men, and when I tried to apply those principles, it was wrong. It was wrong. Why? Because I went to men to get their advice on how women behave. How the hell can a man talk about female nature? That makes no sense. But I wised up. I went to women and asked women, hey, what do women like? Well, women like this. Oh, what about this? No, women don't like that. Well, that's what the men told me. Like, fool, you got it from a man. That's why. So once I started to talk to ladies, women, females, that's when I start understanding things that women like. And that helped me out tremendously. Because, man, you're a young man. Man, you think you're doing stuff in the bed right. And women looking at you like, man, come on, man. No callbacks. You don't get no callbacks. Nah, you ain't coming over here again. You waste my time. No callbacks. And I'm just man enough to admit it. And I think any man, you as a youngster, you've been through that stage where you just you as old folks say, you're hitting and missing. But once I start talking to ladies and getting the information firsthand from them, now you're cooking, son. So when you ladies, you watching these shows, and these shows are full of men about, you watching these shows, and these shows are full of women about men's behavior. Are you getting it from the source? That's why, some of these YouTube channels, men talking about, I'm gonna explain to you female behavior. Man, you a man. How the hell you gonna tell somebody about female nature? All right, let me get this phone call.
Hello.
Yes, good evening, caller. Can you hear me?
Yes, hi, it's Ray.
Well, hello. This Lady Ray.
Yes, sir. Yes, it is.
Well, how are you doing this evening?
I'm doing all right. I just woke up from a nap, so
There you go.
pardon me. But I wanted to get my question in.
Oh yeah, please.
Before we finish up. Um, Darn, what was it? Oh, what are your thoughts on catcalling? I know it's up to each woman individually to decide, her standards in that regard. But what are your personal thoughts on what would be, too much?
Yeah. You catcalling. I'm gonna make sure we're on the same page. Like you're walking
Yeah.
down the street and somebody's, making some comments.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really think that you're dealing with a very, very, very mature person, a mature man who does that, because a real man is going to walk up to you and present himself.
Oh,
like
immature. I'm sorry, I heard that wrong. I'm like a mature man.
No, I said immature.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry. Yeah. I feel that you're dealing with a very immature man who makes cat calls, because it's in my estimation it's very disrespectful, because a man can easily just take the right approach and just walk up to you and ask you what's your name and introduce himself and see if a conversation can happen between the two of you. But to make a cat call, hey sex, hey beauty, all that type of stuff, and back in my day, I don't know if guys still do this, but back in my day, guys would hiss like a snake. Sometimes, do guys still do that?
When I was younger, it used to be like, I'm from the South Jersey area. I used to be in Philly a lot, and they do. I don't know if they still do it, but it's like you're like really immature. I'm not sure if that's still a thing, but that used to be, way to know if you're being catcalled. I used to live in Charlotte, and I just really got a lot of derogatory things yelled out. And then I lived in DC for a while. Yeah. Like, there's always something. Every city has their thing. When I was younger, it was a lot of like calling from the car to come over to the car. Mm-hmm. I don't get that. I don't get that anymore. But I just get like a lot of older men just saying, instead of just saying, hi, how are you, blah, 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 they'll say like, really like kind of sexual comments, I guess. Mm-hmm. So, obviously I'm not taking the debate on that, but I just wanted to know, like, is there any type of catcalling that's acceptable other than obviously coming up to you and introducing themselves?
I mean, I'm just going by, if I were a lady, I would find that highly disrespectful, and to me, it would be a red flag that you're dealing with a immature guy, because a mature guy is going to walk up to you and not be afraid if you reject him or turn him down. Would not be afraid one bit, because mature guys, they understand, rejection comes with it.
Right.
They understand that. But back in my day, you would be surprised. A girl could be walking down the street and a guy would say, psst, psst, psst. And some girls would actually turn around and speak or wave or something. But man, if I had a daughter and I found out she spoke or waved to a guy doing that, or blowing the horn, back in guys would, I see guys pulling up at to pick the woman up sometimes in today's world. They blow the horn. Man, you couldn't have done that back in my day.
Right.
What? You blew the horn for her to come outside? Boy, man, those old men would have ran out them. they would have ran out that house and slapped the, you know what, out that boy. But
Yeah.
you know,
And in a way, it's almost like I can't fault men that um, do certain things because we women allow it.
yeah,
So, we collectively have to come together and unite on what we will accept and what we won't because, if he's not reading the signs that I'm giving, like if I'm, covered up, respectable, blah, 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 if he's not hip on that, he's going to try the same things that he tries with other women because it's worked in the past. So the same thing, like you said earlier, you were going to men for advice instead of women. Like, he's probably just, the blind leading the blind. Like,
amen to that.
that's all I had. That's all I had.
Yeah, yeah. Everything is good out there, and you're in Baltimore, right?
Yeah, I'm in Baltimore. I've just been taking it easy, honestly. Not really been doing much dating, but I'll probably jump back out there. But it's been getting hot. Like, I don't want to be outside.
I
It's too
understand.
hot.
I totally understand. All right. Well, thank you for calling. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right. Take care now. All right. Let's get to this question. Miss Styles says, "What do guys expect to get when they try to talk to you?" Oh my goodness, at a red light. I always thought that was tacky. Now I'm gonna tell you something about the red light. The red light. You got to understand one thing about guys. Guys will try and talk to you anywhere they can. Now, I'll be the first to admit, I've done that red light thing myself. So I'm not going to sit up here like I'm a hypocrite or anything like that. I've done it myself. But usually when we do that, that's when we know that there's probably zero chance of ever seeing you again. And so we may be at the red light, and it's like, for us, it's like, if I don't try it right here, I'll never see you again. And so for some guys, when it hits us like that, it's either now or never. Some guys are like, the hell with it. I'll just try it right here at the red light. Now, trust me, we know that it comes across as tacky, but at the same time, see, our mentality is now or never. Because one thing about men, I'm going to tell you something. We always think about the one that got away. And that's why I keep telling you women about stop giving these men your contact information and things of that nature so early. So early. So early. Stop giving these men those type of things so early. Why? Because, see, sometimes you got to put something on a man's mind. So, in other words, if you're at the red light, he's at the red light, he tries to talk to you at the red light, you pull off, and, you turn, you go left, he goes right, I promise you, we think about you all night. We always think about the one that got away. Even though that guy who tried to talk to you at the red light, let's say he went out to dinner and he met 3 women and he got 3 phone numbers that same night or that same day that he met you. It don't matter to us. We know we got those 3 numbers, and eventually we're going to start putting those 3 numbers to work. But it's you that got away at the red light, and you're the one that we think about. See, you're the one that we think about when we don't get that phone number. Oh, we think about you all night. Damn. Now, again, we could have met 5, whatever. We could have met several women beforehand that same day. We don't think about them. Why? Because we already got them. We got them in here. So we're like, okay, we're going to put them on ice, make them whatever, and we'll hit them up later. But the one that got away, that's why, once again, you ladies, you cannot underestimate what a man will do to get your attention. If we met you at a sandwich shop downtown at the corner of 5th and Main Street on a Saturday night, we walk up to you, try and talk to you. You say, I'm not interested. You go your way, we go your way. We'll take mental notes. Boy, that girl was so fine. She told me no, but man, I got to, I'm gonna meet her again. I'm gonna find her. So we'll take mental notes. We'll say, okay, so where did I meet her at? What was the day I met her? Okay, it was a Saturday. Where did I meet her at? It was a sandwich shop on 5th and Main. You'll be surprised. The next Saturday, we'll go right back to that sandwich shop and hope we bump into you. Or we'll go right back to that supermarket and hope we bump into you. We'll go right back to wherever we met you at and hope we bump into you. Even though you told us no that night. We're like, I hope I see you again. And I'm just going to come at you again. And you'll be surprised how many times you may meet a man one time at one location, you see him at a different location. Now, at the first location, you told him you were not interested. If you see that same guy again, he's coming right back in your face again. Every time. And you're like, oh, Lord, here he come again. But it's just in our nature. You know, so the red light thing, like I said, I'm not going to be a hypocrite. I have done that plenty of times. But once again, it's like, now, if we meet you, like I said, at the coffee shop, you go your way, you go your way, we go ours. We remember where that coffee shop is at. And sometimes we'll just pass by whatever the supermarket we may have met you at. Sometimes maybe we could see you there again. But the red light, how can you can't even fathom, you can't even imagine meeting somebody again at that same red light. Yeah, you could do it at a coffee shop, sandwich shop, or shopping mall. Okay, might bump into that person again. But that red light, there's no way you're going to meet that person again. So that's why guys are like, it's either now or never. Now, how did it come across? Did it come across as disrespectful or anything like that? But, you know, some men, like I said, I'm pretty sure you ladies, you know that there are just some bold men out there. Bold men. You know, you could be on your cell phone. The guy might walk in your face and like, he may not tell you to get off the phone, but he may just be in your face like until you get off the phone. And you be like, don't he say I'm on the phone? He don't care. He'll sit right there until you get off the phone. So, all right. Tiny says, watching a Collier feels like a father figure advising me. I thank you for that compliment, Tiny. I really appreciate it. And that's all I'm trying to get you ladies to understand. Because I don't have any skin in the game, you know. I promise you, I ain't trying to get with none of y'all. I'm down here in Louisiana. Now, I may be in a small city in a small state. Let me tell you something about Louisiana. Louisiana don't have to take a back seat to nobody when it comes to beautiful women. Nope. So, again, I may be in a small city in a small state, but boy, ooh, man, Louisiana ain't got no shortage of women. No shortage of women. My goodness. I tell guys, hey, man, don't you sleep on Louisiana. Oh, man, I heard they do voodoo down there. Stop watching all that TV. Now, on the men's side, you deal with some men from Louisiana, so you better know what you're doing. Because some of us men from Louisiana, boy, you got some men down here who got some horrible understanding, bad understanding. All right, let me stop. Let me quit. All right. Janae said she's about to skirt off. I might be doing the same thing. What time do we have? All right. Phone lines are open. Anybody want to call in? Let me get Lady Ray's. She says, OMG, I've been told to get off that phone. So true. Oh, yeah. Yes, indeed. Hey. All right, let me get this comment. Do they think about you nonstop if you walked away and said no to a situation? I'm trying to figure that one out. All right. Do they think about you nonstop if you walked away and said no to a situation? I would have to say no, because to me it's two different scenarios. See, men, we hate to lose. Why do we hate to lose? Because we are very, very competitive. That's just built in a man to be competitive. Who do we compete against? Other men. Why? Because at the end of the day, we're mammals. All mammals, from the male standpoint, compete against each other. When a moose wants to mate with that female moose, the two male mooses, what do? They go out and they start, bam, they start running into each other. When the male ram wants to mate with the female ram, he goes and he rams heads with the other male. You know, when the lion wants to mate with the female lion, he got to fight his brother or whoever, the other male in the pride. Sometimes they got multiple males in the pride. When the male lion, let's say he's the only male in that pride, when he has that male son, and that son get a certain age, and that son gets to a point to where he wants to have sex with the rest of those female lions, guess what? Daddy jump on him and run him out. And he got to leave that pride. He got to fend for himself. So men, very competitive. We compete in everything. Who got the biggest house? Who makes the most money? Who's the tallest? Who has the best job? Who has the prettiest woman? You know, who has the biggest, whose body is in the best shape? Who has the best 401 account? Who has the best retirement account? Who has the best financial portfolio? Man, we compete in all those things. Who's getting the most sex? You know, we compete. Shucks. That's why sports is so competitive, because once again, men are naturally compete. So my point is, when we meet you and we want the phone number, we want some type of contact information, and we don't get it, or we think about that all night. Why? Because we consider that a loss. We consider that unsuccessful. And we think about you all night. We're like, damn, that girl was so fine. Lord have mercy. And I couldn't get those digits. Damn. I couldn't even get a social media account. That's why I tell you, ladies, if you're attracted to him, give him that email address. He'll be glad to email you. Right, because men, nobody knows men nature more than us. See, all we looking for is that crack. That one crack that we don't have a foot in the door, we just got a half of a toe in the door. And we'll work with that. I promise you, we'll work with that. That one crack in the door where we can't even get the whole foot in, but we got one toe in the door. And that's the email. We'll work with that email. We'll be glad to get it. Oh, we'll be so glad to get that email. Now, is that what we wanted? Nope. But after you presented the scenario, you ain't getting my phone number, dude. You've been begging me for the last 10 minutes. I hadn't budged yet. And that's why I tell you, ladies, let him beg till he blue in the face. Let him beg until he is blue in the face. Let him get it all out. Why? The more he begs, the more he's in compete mode. Compete mode benefits you. You know, so your vetting process, it has to be a plan to put him in compete mode, because compete mode always benefits you. Always have, always will. But once again, why should the guy compete if you're not putting him in compete mode? All right. She said Louisiana has the best accent. I almost fell in love with a man's voice from New Orleans when I visited. Yeah. See, New Orleans got that real Louisiana accent. But see, I'm glad you wrote that email where you talk about Louisiana accents. That's how I met my fiance in Arizona, right there. Now I got a Southern accent, no doubt about it. I got a Southern accent. But that Louisiana, that Cajun, Ellie mama, I'm from New Orleans, yeah, baby. That, you got to go to places like New Orleans, or you got to go, like 50 miles west of here, a little town called Lafayette. That's where them real ones got. Them boys, but let me get this phone. Hello, caller, you on there? Can you hear me?
Hey, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you just fine. What you got tonight? What's your name and where you calling from?
I'm Danielle. I'm in Atlanta.
Ooh, you in the ATL.
Yeah, so I have a quick question.
Go ahead.
I'm going to wait for the next live and I'll probably call in again. So I started using a Facebook dating app. And, when you meet men on there, automatically they're going to want to give you their number. But what I've done instead was basically said I prefer not to. And I prefer rather to do like a live chat and use the Facebook dating app or the messenger. So I like Facebook because you can always research the person. You can tell whether or not it's a burner Facebook page. So you go there and check out, the conversation, their friends and everything like that. But I felt that's kind of like almost like a sales page because you can actually video chat with the person. You can see their body language. If you want to, you can always screen record it. Just want to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah. For some reason, the volume is kind of coming in a little low. Could you speak up just a little bit louder? Can you hear me? Hello?
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
Yes. Could you restate that question again, please?
Yeah, so my question is, if you're using like the Facebook data app and you're declining to use that person's number to contact them, but you say, okay, I want to do video chat with you. And you basically do video chat. Either you do the Facebook app data chat or you do like the messenger. Like, what are your thoughts on that? I always thought it's kind of good to do that because you get to see the person's body language and everything. Mm-hmm. And also with Facebook, you can tell whether or not that person, whether or not it's a burner page or a real page. So you go in, to their Facebook page, you can actually see, what type of person that, they might be. Mm-hmm. Look at their friends and their conversations, stuff like that. How do you feel about that?
Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. All right. So you have a Facebook account, but you don't use the Facebook account. You use the Facebook, what is it called again?
No, I use Facebook account, but I use the Facebook. It's called a dating application.
Okay.
So you can go in there and join that application now and meet different people. So they'll like your profile, and you'll go and you like them, and there's a separate area where you can chat. And so, eventually, when you chat, they'll give you their number.
I got you.
I'll be like, yeah, I don't want to do numbers. Let's video chat.
So with the chat, you can actually see that person, interact with that person in real time.
Exactly, and also depending on your phone, like I screen record mine. Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. See, I feel that any type of interaction that's occurring on a dating app such as that one that's online, if you can see that person, that's a better experience. Now, I can't remember a lady who called in, but I had a lady who called in. This could be this is probably about maybe 5, maybe 6 weeks ago, But she said something that was so profound and it stuck with me. And she talked about her vetting process when she is talking to men virtually, like what you're explaining. She said what she would do is her vetting process involves making the guy get up and give her basically a tour of the house.
Mm-hmm.
So, show me your bedroom, show me your living room, show me this, show me that. Because she's looking for any sign that shows that, you could be married or a woman could be living there or whatnot.
Right.
And to me, now some people may think that's very petty or unnecessary, but to me, I loved her vetting strategy because as a man, you're basically forcing that man to reveal certain things about him. Now, in other words, if he's serious, he'll do it. But if he's holding back, where he feels like, well, I don't think it's necessary, you see certain, that to me would be a red flag.
Right, I've seen that.
So I would advise you to not be afraid to ask a man that as well. Because if he's serious, he won't have a problem with it. Now, the only thing that may make him not want to do it is that if he's a serious type of guy, maybe, he's a bachelor. Bachelors, sometimes we'll let dishes sit in the sink, for 4 or 5 days. Our stove may not be as clean as it should be. Sometimes we come home, we'll throw one sock here, one sock there, T-shirt over there. So maybe the house may not be as tidy as it can be, but I think that's an excellent piece of advice. I cannot think of that lady's name or where she was from, but I never forget she said that's one of the things that she does because on that online see the online dating scene is totally different. And you really got to, send these men through some type of vetting security process to make sure you're actually dealing with who they say they are. Because with the online thing, it's so easy for men to come up with fake profiles and lie about their
exactly.
situation.
So that's what I'm saying. That's good with the Facebook because you can always go back and look at their history, like how long they've been on there.
Yeah.
And also, with the video chat, it kind of shows like their level of vulnerability with you. Are they willing to like kind of just jump on and video chat with you?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I'm thinking I met somebody. I'm gonna get off this phone though, and I'm gonna just listen to y'all because I'm braiding here.
Okay.
But I had that question.
All right, sounds good. But thank you for calling in. I appreciate it.
You welcome.
All right, take care. All right, Facebook dating app. So Facebook has a. Is it free? Does it come with with Facebook or is it something extra? All right, we're getting some good information out here. Lady Ray says, don't give them your Facebook page for Messenger, but staying on the app for phone calls and video calls is good. See, I didn't know Facebook had a dating app. I don't use dating apps, so I'm biased. I've heard a few success stories, but very few and far between as opposed to unsuccessful. Oh, man, that's what I should have asked that lady because she called in from Atlanta. So the lady who just called in from Atlanta, again, people, I'm in a small town, Louisiana. Atlanta, when I think about cities like Atlanta, Charlotte, Houston, Dallas, Chicago, my thing is, again, I'm on the outside looking in, but it seems like those cities have such an abundance of people, whereas, you could get in your car and go to different places and just meet people all across the city. See, if I were living, man, let me see if I can say this without getting in trouble. If I were in Atlanta, and I'm trying to get into the dating scene in Atlanta, I'm not staying at home. And I'm damn sure, and this is just me, I'm damn sure I ain't relying on this. What am I doing? I'm hitting the streets. I'm going to the locations. I'm going to the spots. That would be my thing. Because maybe I'm just old, maybe I'm outdated, maybe I'm just an old dinosaur. But I'm just a firm believer in, meeting people face to face. So, especially if I was in a city like Atlanta, if I was in Charlotte, oh, man, if I was in Chicago, oh, my goodness. What? Man, the only time I'd probably be, if I were in the dating scene, the only time I'd probably be home, time to go to sleep. Too many people out there. It's too many activities. There's too many different things you can get into. I mean, people out there are into so many different things. You people in these big cities, maybe I'm just, like I said, maybe I'm just on the outside looking in. But, man, if I was in Houston or Dallas, whoo, my goodness. What? Redbird. Who from Dallas? What you know about Redbird if you're from Dallas? But, again, when I do eventually get back into the dating scene, even in this small city I'm in, Baton Rouge, man, please, I'm hitting the spots. I'm going to be all across this city. I'm not sitting, no. All right, help me out with that. I hope I'm pronouncing your name, but Laurie Pfeiffer, she says online dating is just a tool. I'm out a lot too. Yeah. But again, I'm 54. Maybe I'm just an old dinosaur, outdated. But, you meet somebody face to face. There's too many games online. My goodness. Man, it's nothing for people to lie online. It's nothing for people to misrepresent their background and their history and their life and all this stuff. And here you thinking you meeting somebody and this good, wholesome person, and the next thing you know, you're finding out all these different lies and things that come to the forefront. All right, Lady Ray says the key is to utilize both. If you are serious, you should have your feet in every pond. I know that's right. Catbox said the street is where it's at. She said I'm 56. 56. You know what? Who is that? Janae gave me a good suggestion last time. Hook this thing up where I can, with people, we can do the video calls. Because that profile picture, let me see. Laurie, that profile picture does not look like 56. And that's a compliment. That is definitely a compliment. Let's see. Janae says men will assume women are desperate while on dating apps. Yeah, some men do that. I met a man on vacation and he lied up and down. People lie when there's nothing initially holding them back. Amen to that. Amen to that. See, again, just men, male behavior. If I came, let's say I don't have, I just came out of prison. I did, whatever time in prison, 5 years, 10 years, 15, 20 years in prison. See, if I was a man just coming home from prison, I don't have $1 to my name. I don't have anywhere to live or whatnot. Man, the first place I'm going is online. That would be me. That would be my mindset. Why do I say that? Because that would be the easiest, most effective way to meet women. That would be my mindset. If I don't have $1 to my name, and I can't, I'm down on my luck, just got out of jail, I'm going to find the closest library, go in there and fill out a library card, jump on the internet, and I'm going on dating sites or whatever, where the library may have blocks on it. But you know what I'm saying. That would be me. So I know if I have that mindset, and then if I got online, or when I got online, fresh out of prison or whatnot, you think I'm gonna put in there, I just did 10 years in prison? You think that's gonna be in my profile? Hell no. Well, my name is Okoye. I'm a convicted felon. I'm fresh out of, the jail in California or Texas. You really think I'm gonna put that in the profile? And I'm trying to come up. Hell no. I'm not putting that in my profile. Man, I'm gonna have that profile looking so beautiful. What? That profile is gonna be spotless. If I don't have an education, hey, homeboy, come write this for me. Just come up with some catchy phrases or whatnot. That's what I'm just being real with it. That's what I would do. Because why? I'm trying to come up. I'm trying to get on my feet. Because if I catch the right one, and like I said, the numbers game, okay. Try and inbox as many women as you can. Sooner or later, one is going to say, okay, I'm interested. All right. What time we got here? 9:15. All right, I'll take one more phone call. Somebody said MySpace. How old are you? Ladies, you're worrying about liars. That is ground for moving according by giving the next man. We don't settle for liars. That's good. All right. Lady Ray says you don't have to be out of jail to use a dating app. They have dating phones on. Okay, so I'm late. So they have, you know what? That's true. That's right. They do have phones in there. Amen. You're right. You're right, Lady Ray. She said, of course, he's trying to get on. Well, let me tell you, what's the old saying? Desperate people do what? Do desperate things. And that's why I try and tell you ladies, when a man has sex on his mind, all bets are off the table of what he will do or what he will say. All bets are off the table. When we have sex on our mind, what we will do or what we will say, all bets are off the table. That's just how it goes down. All right, question, what are your thoughts on dating someone you're not physically attracted to initially? Well, let's talk about the word dating, because physical attraction is very important. I think we'll all agree on that. But I don't see anything wrong with dating. But as I said in previous videos, I talk about, I think the definition of dating, we have totally skewed that word. In other words, dating in today's world means, you're kicking it with somebody, you're messing with somebody, male and female, and you're having sex. Now, absolutely nothing wrong with that if no sex is being involved. Because, it's amazing sometimes, not all the time, but sometimes a person who you are not physically attracted to in the initial stages, sometimes if you give that person the opportunity to talk and that person express their feelings or beliefs, sometimes that person you can open yourself up and find out that person has some beautiful qualities that you can't measure from a physical standpoint. You can't even measure that from a physical standpoint. Some of the things, some of the characteristics that they may possess. And sometimes those things are brought to the forefront, and next thing you know, we find ourselves attracted to that person. How many times have we been in relationships and we break out and we break up with the person, and sometimes we have that argument, and then it comes out, well, I wasn't even attracted to you in the first place. I never dated nobody like you. We're talking about their looks. It could happen. Well, you were not physically attracted to that person in the beginning, but it's some qualities or things about that person that can kind of, as the Bible say, love covers a multitude of sins. There may be some qualities or some things about that person where it covers a multitude of things that you find lacking in their physical appearance. A lot of guys are saying, telling guys, get in the gym, get your body right, things of that nature. But all my life, I've seen a lot of heavyset guys with nice looking women. And I know some women who like heavyset men. But another woman may look at that man and say, he's not for me. But I know a bunch of guys I grew up with and throughout, still today. I see a lot of young men who may have a couple of pounds extra on them. And they get attractive women. So, it's one of those things. Ms. Scott says you will always think of the ones we are physically attracted to. I definitely agree with that. Why? Because we like what we like. I'll be the first to. I think we all can admit that. Lady Red says, I'll take Fluffy with integrity any day over a gym rat with no morals. Yeah, you hit that gym. Shout out to, I can't think of the lady's name, but what's the lady name called in from the Northeast who met the guy in the gym? I would love to know how that turned out. But the gym rats. All right. I tried it a few times, haven't worked. Dating men I'm not physically attracted to. Yeah, that's not easy. That's not easy. Who was that? Will Smith's wife, Jada Pinkett Smith, on the Nutty Professor. What was the name? Mr. Clumps. Shit, boy, you couldn't tell Mr. Clumps nothing, man. Was that his name, Clumps? I may be getting them mixed up. That's it, Ashley. Yeah, Ashley. I would love to get an update on what happened with Ashley. Because, all men are not created the same. And I think that's why so many men, we have that competitive spirit. Because we understand that. But them gym rats. Sherman, thank you. Yeah. Thank you so much for that, Sabrina Little. Yeah, Sherman. Man, Sherman was dating I forgot her name, whatever her name was, but Will Smith's wife in the movie. But Sherman had a what? Sherman had a good heart. Sherman had a real good heart. But I mean, as one of the last comments mentioned, she said she tried it, but wasn't for her. Now I'm not saying he was that size, but you know what I'm saying. We all like what we like at the end of the day. We like what we like. Yeah, I agree with that. Cat need to write a book. She said I was with an obese brother, and later I realized that he was a fool, and I look. She said I was a fool, and I look hot. Yes, indeed. All right, what we got? 9:22. It's been a good night, everybody. Anybody want to call in? Take one more phone call. Local recording stop. I don't know what that was about. Somebody. Can you speak to how women can go wrong by? That's a good question because it's not hard to emasculate men. Can you speak to how women can go wrong by emasculating men? That's a good question. See, a male's ego is very, very, very fragile to begin with. I don't care how big we are. I don't care if we 6'4", 250 pounds, and we look like a silverback, gorilla, whatever. We look like we made out of concrete. We look like we made out of steel. That fragile is very, 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 very. I'm sorry. That our egos, a male's ego, is very fragile, and it's very easy to emasculate us. Especially, it's very easy for a woman to emasculate us. How can women emasculate men? Number one, I'm not saying this is the top thing, but I'm just saying, in no particular order. But number one, if you tell us, for example, we're horrible in bed, you just cut our testicles off. If you tell a man we're horrible in bed, you just emasculated us. If you call us names, words that start with a B, just emasculated us. If you call us a H, you've just emasculated us. If you tell us we're worthless, you ain't nothing, you're a mama's boy, you've emasculated us. Why? Because coming from a woman labeling a man with those type of terms that are not manly like, man, you just performed surgery on us, where you basically neutered us. You just cut our testicles off. But again, you tell a man he's horrible in bed, oh my goodness, we don't want to come out the house. You tell a man we're nothing, worthless, especially when you start dealing with special words like the B word and the H word and all that. Oh my goodness. God forbid you call us a P. Oh. You call us the P word. Oh my goodness. So, hopefully that answered your question. Any other questions? If not, we'll go ahead and call it a wrap. Once again, thank you for LaTanya for the cash out. Appreciate that. Thank you everybody who joined in tonight. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the continued support. Taj the Great One says that's why so many males be abusive. They rather show anger than hurt. That's a great point. That's a great point, because see what a lot of men will do is, if you have emasculated a man, if a woman has emasculated a man, for example, you call a man the P word, or you tell him he's horrible in bed, or he got a small penis or whatnot. You tell a man that, what's going to happen is a lot of times he's going to overcorrect. What does overcorrect mean? There's a chance that he's going to do some things that he got to get his manhood back. He got to get it back some type of way. I heard what you said, but what you said, I got to get my manhood back. And so it could be some steps or some actions that he takes that he feels, I'm getting my manhood back, which basically will step out of bounds or step cross borders. And that's what I mean by overcorrect. And I hopefully you can read between the lines, but I'm not trying to get flagged on YouTube. All right. My B word is you are broke. Yeah, that emasculate a man too. But at the same time, see, before I go, see, ladies, you got to understand, see that works two ways. Because the same way you ladies can tear a man down with your words, you could build him up. You could build him up with those words. I promise you. And I feel that's where a lot of women who don't have a problem getting a man, this is just me. I strongly feel that you may not know how important this is in helping you to keep the man. Because sex ain't going to keep him. You can forget about that. I don't care how good the sex is, how kinky it is, how often, how frequent it is. That's not going to keep him. It'll keep him coming back for more sex. But I mean, keep him. Make him rush home to be with you. Make him want to be with you at all times. And like I said, the same way you can use words to tear him down, to emasculate a man, nobody has more power than a woman with the words that come out of your mouth to build a man, build him up. Nobody has that power more than a woman. His mama can't do it as his mama can't build him as strongly and firmly as his woman, his wife, his girlfriend can. Man, hearing those type of words come from your woman, ooh, my goodness. You talk about take a bullet for you. Well, my man don't like to work. He'll go get 3 jobs. He'll walk across hot coals for you. All right. Let me get this last comment. So why don't they just leave as a man? Why go toe to toe with a woman? That's a good point. That's a good point. But again, that's what I mean by that. That's what I mean by overcorrect. They do things that they normally should not have done. But in their estimation, I got to get my manhood back. I got to get it back. Because right now, it's on the floor. So I got to get this back. You know? See, you would be surprised. Men. See, men, we could have a fight. We could have a fight with our male friends, a physical fight where fists were thrown. We could have a fight with our male friends, and we could come back from that fight. In other words, you know, we could hit each other and be in a real fight, trying to knock each other out. But we could come back from that fight if there was no words of disrespect thrown at each other. We could come back from that fight. Now, men, we could have an argument where there was no physical confrontation that happened, but some disrespectful words came from one man to another. Ain't no coming back. A man call another man, you a dummy? Oh, we can come back from that. A man call another man a fool? That friendship could be repaired. A man call another man a P, B, H, what? Ain't no coming back. I don't care how good friends we were. That's over. I don't care if I went to your house, your mama used to treat me like I was her son, and you came to my mama's house and my mama treated you like you was her son. Cross the line. And so, again, you ladies, you may be in a relationship with a guy and you're like, well, man, why you don't talk to your boy no more? He may not tell you. But if they're not talking or whatever, there's a good chance it was an argument and some disrespectful words came out of one man's mouth to another. Men, boy, you want to lose friendship with men, but cross those lines where words, disrespectful words, where one man emasculated another man. Man, I don't like you, old blah, blah, blah. Okay, all right, that friendship over. That's a wrap. Ain't no coming back. So later, you could be trying to get them two to patch it up. Words came out that emasculated. One man emasculated another man. Can't take that back. Never forget it. It's just a man thing. But like I said, we could have an argument. We could have a knockdown, drag out argument. But as long as certain words were not said from one man to another, men, we could come back from that. As far as repair that, put that in the past, and then, put that in the rearview mirror and then become friends again. But if it was some words, disrespectful words, attack that masculinity, nah, men ain't coming back from that. All right, I think we had 3 phone calls tonight. Thank you, everybody, for that. We're going to call it a wrap. Get me some crawfish. Let's see. Get the last couple of chats in. I love men, so I still have hope for them. Only I need one. A lot of good men out here, Janae. A lot of good men out here. Trust me on that. It really changed my life, not even just while dating, but with my own self-esteem and worth. Cat BX says, like I said, I was fooled and tricked when I woke up. It was bye-bye and out the door. Broke. There is more to my stories. Yeah. Cat BX. Yeah, you need a podcast, Cat. She said, me just taking my time at my age. Yeah, take time. And that's a good thing that you recognize that you need to take time. That's the thing that I'm doing right now. Hey, I'm taking my time. Well, you 54, you ain't got that much time. Well, hey, whatever. But I already know. What's the old saying? Hurt people hurt people. All right. Janae said, I crave masculine energy, especially when I like him. Yeah, nothing like a masculine man. I've learned so much about male nature. This is good. Okoye, thank you. I love to be a guest when you set up the panel. Oh, yeah, y'all got that panel going on. What's the name of the panel? I would like to know. Thank you. Thank you, Kat. I appreciate everybody's input. That's very important. Everybody's input is important because at the end of the day, we all have a story to tell. We've all been somebody's fool at one point in our life. Or if you've never been somebody's fool, just keep living. Eventually, you will be. And that's not a bad thing. It just means that, hey, you didn't know. And that's just how this world works. Wow. She said Okoye's daughter is the panel name. Wow. I feel flattered. Thank you so much for that. I really feel flattered to know that some of the things I've been talking about is actually resonating and hitting home. She said Okoye's daughter. Man, y'all trying to make the old man cry. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. Oh, she's saying your panel. Okay, all right, I got you. She said just add us so we can cam up. I got you. All right, man, I thought y'all were doing something. Okay. I got you now. She said your panel that you're going to have to add YouTube Live. All right, I got you. All right, so everybody have a good night. Thank you for your input. Thank you so much for contributing. I'm going to log off, and I will see everybody on Thursday.